Hey guys, welcome to part 15 of the Brit Champ Championship. We're taking the Brit Lewis Hamilton to the top of the Drivers' Championship, and also a British teammate of our British team to the top of the Constructors' Championship. And as you can see, we've got Q1 here, laps on the prime tyres again, obviously not a blistering lap, just enough to get us through to Q2. So it goes down to 9th now. Q2 lap, we actually set a very quick lap on the prime tyres to take us third, just a 10th behind the top time, which was actually our teammate of Button. In Q3, you'll notice that actually we got first, and we're much faster than our Q2 time because we've done something different, and we're actually going to start on the option tyres this race. I know it's something I've avoided this series because obviously of what the pit crew are like. And as you can see here, we got a 63% chance of rain this race, which would be interesting because I don't think it's ever rained in the real life Singapore Grand Prix. I don't think so. Plus also, this is the first time this series that we've had a chance of rain above 50%. So we might actually get some rain this series. And as you notice, we put the car up into the adaptable position to obviously compensate for this potential rain, because I actually had confidence it's going to come. But anyway, we're going to come out under the night sky for the Singapore Grand Prix. So as you saw there, we got our championship rival Stein just behind us, and our teammate literally directly behind us in third, and the lights are going out even though we can't see them, and they're gone. And it's actually the exact same top 3 starting position we had in Italy actually, and we all know how that first corner turned out, but we haven't actually made contact with Vettel yet, and he hasn't been run out into the wall unless Button's done it for us, and Button hasn't done that, but Button has got into second. See what I did there? Button. Anyway, obviously we're starting on the option tyres this race, and we know what the pit crew are like in this game. They like to hold you in their box. So, you know, we've actually got to put quite a bit of an advantage to the AI to hope that, obviously, we don't get held in the pits, because that can, you know, really damage your race if that ever happens. And we're 1.4 seconds ahead of our teammate already. And now we're going to cut on to the end of lap 2 and the start of lap 3, and we're about 1.8 seconds of Button, 5.3 seconds of Vettel.
Webber's just had prime tyres fitted to his car.
So Webber's had prime tyres, so he's pitted very early because we're not going to pit actually until lap 4. So Webber's pitted pretty early, which I reckon is going to put him out in some traffic here. So actually this is the lap, well this is at the end of the lap where we're going to pit, obviously 2 laps later than Webber. And we've actually had a lapse of concentration there and run wide at that corner. And it looks like that Button's got past and Vettel's got past, and maybe Massa is even going to get past. Yes, he is. So Massa's going to get past, and hopefully, obviously this is ruined, you know, our hopes of, you know, pulling out a nice advantage over the AI to hope we don't get held in the pits. And we've dove down the inside of Massa, but to no avail there. And well, the problem is that maybe we should have done what Webber did and pit in on lap 2, because if you look at the graphic on the right hand side, our rear left tyre is, well, just is red, meaning that, you know, it's completely worn, and actually now our rear right tyre is, which means basically we've got no grip in those rear tyres, so we're losing so much pace, and it's actually impossible to get past Massa, especially as we know you can easily spin if you make contact with the cars in this game, kind of like a side pod glitch. And also try to go around corners, you know, you have no grip on when putting on the power, or actually not when you have no grip before you even put the power on, because we just spun there. We didn't even put on the power at all, and we spun and lost the position now to Rosberg actually. And you know, I think we've kissed our hopes of winning the race goodbye, because, well, Button, I'm guessing, is going to be about 15 seconds ahead of us. Oh, and we almost lost it at the end of that corner, so we really need to get into the pits right now to ensure we don't lose any more time, and you know, get some fresh prime tyres on which will have a lot more grip. And we bumped over that pit line there, which, you know, is kind of not allowed. But we've just run over, I think that's a Red Bull mechanic actually. We've just run over a mechanic going into our pit box. Speak of our pit box, and not letting us out of it, because some cars were getting past, which means actually we've been jumped by, I don't know actually if we have been jumped by anyone. No, actually no, because we have come out ahead of, no, behind Rosberg. Oh, I can't, you see, I couldn't tell because I hadn't updated the positions, but so we have come out just behind Rosberg, but I don't think we've actually lost that much time to him despite being held up in our pit box, because I think he was held up as well. But we rejoined in 15th, although thanks to loads more cars pitting on the end of lap 5, we've actually now jumped into the points, and the game's going to give us a corner cut warning there. Actually, no, it's going to give us a second one. I don't know why that was only one corner cut, and it wasn't the biggest one in the world, but give us 2 corner cutting warnings for it, so, you know, whatever. But anyway, the big news is that Button's still in first, which is obviously good. He's stopping our championship rival Vettel getting the full 25 points. But we've got to try and get past the cars so we score more than a point this race, and we've dove down the inside of Petrov, and it's got us up into 9th place, so we're going to get 2 points at this rate during the race. And I'm guessing if Vettel's maintained his second position, you know, he'll be getting 16 points on us at the end of this race, so we got to try and get some more positions up, which means actually we're going to have to do wheel-to-wheel racing with Rosberg, which, if you know anything about the 2014 Belgian Grand Prix, well, obviously the real-life 2014 Belgian Grand Prix, wheel-to-wheel racing doesn't go so well, but we're going to go for it anyway. And he hasn't clipped our rear tyre, or has he? I think he has actually clipped our rear tyre there, to be honest. But there's no punctures because we're not in Belgium, and it's in 2014, so that's good. So we got past Rosberg, going to 8th, which is going to grant us 4 points actually at the end of this race. And as you can see, we just got so much more pace on these prime tyres compared to the AI. So we really should have put in on lap 3, or maybe even lap 2, to get rid of the option tyres, because they just couldn't last 4 laps. And Massa was going very slow around that corner. He's actually held us up there, so we couldn't get past him around that corner because he just held us up there. And who's that coming out of the pits? That is Nico Hülkenberg in the Williams, as we run wide of that corner again, giving us another corner cut warning. And Hülkenberg has actually got past Massa. That's very interesting to see a Williams ahead of a Ferrari in 2010. And what's more interesting is how Hülkenberg has actually pulled away from Massa, so we need to get past Massa right now to hopefully have a chance of getting past Rosberg. And Massa's holding his position there, fair to him, but we have still got past him, and that's us up into 7th position. But Hülkenberg has already pulled away by, I'd guess, about 4 seconds there. So, you know, we've really got, as Lewis would say, put the hammer down to try and catch up to Hülkenberg, who's got, you know, some surprising pace this race. Speaking of which, someone has rejoined the pits just behind Hülkenberg, and that's not Schumacher's, because Schumacher, we beat Schumacher already. We already got past him. He was still in the pits, and that's actually Webber. He was all the way down in 5th, which, you know, is surprising to see a Red Bull this low down in the field. And now we've caught to Webber, but interestingly, we haven't caught up to Nico Hülkenberg, actually. Nico Hülkenberg has actually pulled away from, obviously, the dominant Red Bull, which is very interesting to see. I don't know why, or don't know how Nico's got such good pace there. As you can see, that's another AI car, but obviously Massa did as well. Massa also held us up at the end of the pit, at that corner there. And actually, something I've literally just realised is that that must be Webber's second pit stop, because he pitted on lap 2, and then we saw him leave the pits again. So it's like Belgium all over again. He's pitting twice for some reason, which is a weird strategy, and it hasn't worked out for him because obviously he's been overtaken by us. But Hülkenberg has streamed off into the distance. He is, what's that, about 7 seconds ahead of us? Yeah, 6.9 seconds. He's streamed ahead of us, and you know, if Webber can't keep up with him, there's no way we're going to. And we're skipping on to the end of the last lap. We haven't actually caught up to Hülkenberg, and that's amazing. Actually, how Nico Hülkenberg and obviously the lackluster Williams was able to pull away from Massa, from me, from Webber. It's amazing. But anyway, despite that, we're going to come around the last corner in Singapore for 5th place.
10 points in the bag. Well done, mate. A good solid 5th place.
So as you can see, as our race engineer said, that's 5th, obviously 10 points there. We finished almost 20 seconds behind Hulkenberg. That's amazing. I don't know where he had all that pace, especially his teammate Barrichello finishing 14th. I have no idea where he got that pace from. That's absolutely amazing. But obviously Button taking out the lead means Vettel only gained 8 points on us in the championship hunt. Speaking of which, we got the driver standings here with Button actually getting dangerously close to us, and we're only 18 points behind Vettel, but you never know, Button might be able to do something this championship. And we got the constructors here where we're 9 points ahead of Red Bull. So if you like this video, like it, leave a comment down if you want, and I'll see you next time for the Japanese Grand Prix.